guys, and welcome back to another episode of the podcast. I hope you're having a great day, and thank you so much for tuning in. So in today's episode, I want to talk about how to unlock your inner leader. If you've been listening to the previous episodes, you might remember that I mentioned that one of the biggest turning points in my life so far, at least in my research to finding God's gift, was when I started realizing that actually the potential to be a leader is in all of us. I think we are grown in a society that tells us that we are just one among many other people, and that there's honestly nothing very special or unique about any of us. We are just here on earth meant to be doing our job, living our life, and then go. But honestly, if I have to pinpoint one of the biggest things that changed my life and my mindset completely was when I first heard one of Miles Monroe's motivational speeches, where he said that we all have the potential of being a leader, and it's just a matter of discovering it or unlocking that potential. And I know you might look around and think, well, I see lots of people that aren't leaders, and I think that's probably because they themselves don't know how to unlock it. They don't even think probably that they can be leaders, and I think this is a narrative that we are generally taught growing up. And I realized over time that this is actually the first thing you have to tackle. So your mentality and your mindset is the very first thing you need to address if you want to be able to unlock that leadership potential within you. Because I've mentioned this in one of my previous episodes as well, but if we believe that God is intentional about everyone that is born in this earth, and he has a specific unique plan for each and every one of us, specific gift or mission that he has entrusted to each of us individually, then we have to believe that that potential to lead is within us. We just have to find out how to unlock it, how to discover it and bring it to life. And you might wonder, well, if we are all leaders, then who's going to follow? But the reality is we all have different gifts. We all have leadership potential in different areas of our life, which is why we need to share that gift with the world. We need to bring it to life, because imagine how rich our experience of life would be if all of us would be sharing our gifts with the people around us, in the sense of we all became leaders in the gift or mission that God has given us. First of all, we would still all of us do it in different ways, and that's also because God would lead us to do it in different ways, because we all need different things, we all have different experiences, we all come with our specific baggage of life. So I don't think there would ever be an issue of if everyone's leading, then who's gonna follow, because we can all learn from each other. Even two people that come from very similar backgrounds will have potentially very different life experiences. So it's never a given, I think, and there's a reason why God has hidden this richness inside every one of us. And I think that's the very first thing that we need to realize, and that is that each of us is unique. That's the very first mentality shift, I think, that we need to adopt to start unlocking that leadership potential. Because you might look around and think that, oh, there's no point in trying to start what you think God has called you to start, or what you feel inside, because the market is saturated, or because there's already so many other people that are better than you trying to do that or being successful at. But the reality is, as much as many of the people might already be successful in whatever area that is that you are trying to grow in, none of them is going to be you. You are the only you there is in this world. You are the only one with your experiences of life. You are the only one with your character, with your personality. You are the only one that can bring your perspective into the conversation. And so that is the very first thing that we need to start realizing, is that each of us is unique, each of us is special, and we all have that potential of becoming leaders. And a lot of it just goes down to how we think of ourselves. And we do our part, but God also does his part, obviously, in our journey. If I'm thinking about Moses, for example, when God called him, Moses didn't feel ready, first of all. He didn't feel like he would ever be fit to be a leader. He was looking at all of his shortcomings, all of the things he was lacking at, all of the skills he didn't have that he thought a leader should have. But God knew there was potential within him to lead the Israelites out of Egypt, and he chose him on purpose. Moses was very humble as well, I think, and as much as he might have been reluctant in the beginning, he still trusted God and followed him to do what God had asked him to do. And I think that required a lot of faith, because it was not an easy task to go back to Pharaoh and ask him, plead with him to let the Israelites free, and then also encounter all of the challenges he had to encounter before he could actually take the Israelites out of Egypt. So definitely it is important to start shifting your mindset to understanding that you have the potential to becoming a leader. But also I've realized over time it is very important to not be so focused on yourself that you stop relying on God. Because the reality is you have that potential to become a leader, but also remind yourself that God is the one that placed that potential inside of you. So he knows how to bring it to life. He knows how to lead your steps, and he knows how to support you and encourage you and keep you going throughout the journey. I think when we look at Moses, especially from a perspective of being a leader, this is one of the key takeaways we can take actually, because throughout his experience at the beginning with freeing the Israelites from Egypt, taking them into the desert, he had, I would say, an enormous faith. He relied on God fully. And I mean, someone could say that he was reluctant in the beginning and he had some questions, but I mean, who wouldn't? I think a lot of times we believe the lie that because we doubt that we're not good enough or we don't have enough faith. But I think the most important thing is not to not doubt or not be afraid, because I don't think we will ever not be afraid, or we will never not doubt. We will have our moments where we doubt. The most important thing is to exercise your faith to move beyond that doubt, and to exercise that faith and your courage to move beyond what you see, and trust that God sees further than you and that he can lead your steps. And I think that's another incredibly important point to unlocking your leadership, because if you think that all of it depends on you, then it's very easy to get stuck. It's very easy to get stuck into thinking about, what if I make mistakes? What if I'm going the wrong direction? What if I'm not able to do this? What if I don't have the skills? What if I don't make the right decisions? And so on. But when we do our work in shifting our mentality to thinking, okay, I have the potential to becoming a leader, but I will also rely on God fully in whatever endeavor it is that I'm trying to get started on. I will trust him, I will commit it to him and trust him to lead my steps. Then that is already in us a long way in terms of unlocking our potential. First of all, because we are putting ourselves in a position where we are available for God to start working on us and through us in our life and in the life of other people. And because in this season we are talking about purpose and finding your gift, I also think that it's very relevant to discover your gift, the gift God has placed in your life, and to start cultivating those skills. Because that potential of being a leader can only become a reality if we discover what the area or the gift is that God has called us to be a leader in. And please don't misunderstand me. I don't think being a leader means being the only person in that field or area that people should look at, or being the best person in that field or area or whatever it is. I think it means being a leader in the sense of manifesting the gift God has given you, bringing that potential to life, and making sure that you are bringing fruits in your life and you are having a positive impact on the life of other people. I don't think it makes any difference if you are making the life of 100 people better, or 1,000 or 1,000,000 or 50 or 10. But the most important thing is making sure that you are bringing your gift to life to impact other people positively. It's not a matter of who's the best one or who's the first one. I hope that clarifies it in case anyone had any doubt. And yeah, this actually brings me to the last kind of consideration that I was thinking about, and that is, what is your motivation? Because we're talking about unlocking our leadership potential, but what is your motivation behind wanting to become a leader in a certain field or area? Because there's a massive difference between a dictator and a leader. A dictator generally thinks about what he or she wants, but a leader thinks about what other people need. And so I think it's really important to check our motivation. So is our motivation behind wanting to become a leader because we want to positively impact the life of other people? We want to help other people, encourage them in a specific area or life? Or is it just because we want to be seen, or we want to be famous, or we want to fulfill or satisfy our selfish desires? And I'm not saying that if you want to become a leader because you want to help other people, then you can never think about yourself. That's not what I'm saying. But the motivation should be being of service and of help to other people, while you are also living a fulfilled life. I think that's the amazing, incredible thing of building a life that is centered around God's purpose for your life and the gift He's placed within you, because that gift is special in the sense that it's helpful for other people and it's fulfilling to you. And I think that's the most amazing thing, because as human beings, I believe we all crave living and building a fulfilled life, a life that feels like it has purpose and it's meaningful. And when we are able to find something in our life that we can do that brings us meaning and is helpful for other people, that's like hitting the jackpot, honestly. It's the best possible combination that you can have in your life. And I think this is what this whole search for God's purpose for our life, or God's gift in our life, should be. This is the aim, finding that gift that is meaningful to us, that brings us purpose, that is helpful for other people. So I really hope this episode has given you some useful insights onto how to start unlocking that leadership potential within you, or inspire you to start looking for the gift God has placed in your life. Once again, thanks so much for tuning in, and I'll see you on the next one.